you were in the Spectator this week. You've written an article about a sex book that's been written for children. What's that about? What's going on?
I tell you what it's about. It's about degeneracy. That's what it's about. It's about the slide downhill of traditional conservative values. It's about us as a society failing our most vulnerable, which is obviously our children. So to give you a bit of background that haven't seen this sex book, it's actually called Welcome to Sex. It's, as far as I'm concerned, a children's Kama Sutra. That's what it is. In the book, it has all sorts of different sex acts, and amongst other things, I believe it teaches children how to perform those sex acts, among other topics like transgenderism, et cetera, et cetera. This book was written by Melissa Kang and Yumi Steins. Now, Yumi Steins said on her Instagram, she made a post about the book, and she said, look, this book, as far as she was concerned, should be happy for a mature 8-year-old to flick through the book. Now, a mature 8-year-old does not exist. So I took great offence to the book, and the reason why I did was because it was targeted at such young children. 8 years old, I mean, come on. The only thing that an 8-year-old should know about sex is that a boy should think that girls have cuties and girls should think that boys are gross. That should be the extent of an 8-year-old's sexual knowledge. But this book, like I said before, filled with all sorts of garbage and filth. I've talked about this in the Senate. I've also put a video up on YouTube as well, and the article, like you mentioned, in the Spectator. If parents want to see more about it, go and have a look. But I think the big problem that we're facing here in our society today is the sexualization of ever younger and younger children. Us as a society, we need to make a decision right now, draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, we're not okay with sexualizing kids at all. Now, this book has no classification, so you can just pick it up from your local, Big W or something like this. And I think that the book should at least be classified, some sort of classification, MA15, maybe PG, I'm not sure, but something at least. So I've actually written to the communications minister, and I've said, look, can you have a look at this book? I don't think it's okay. Let's do something about it. So Liberal Party, I hope you get behind me, because you're supposed to be the party of conservative, traditional values. Let's get this book sorted out.
And why do you think people want to expose young children to such shocking sexual practices that you'd normally find only in an adults-only sex shop, not in a shop like Big W? No, look, I think society as a whole is on a downhill trajectory. What we've done is we've let the lunatics out of the asylum, and then these lunatics have now gotten positions in the bureaucracy and obviously in the halls of power around government as well, and now they're in charge. People will call me a right-wing conspiracy conservative, hard right conservative. I'm not a hard right conservative. I'm a normal, ordinary person from 15 years ago. That's all I am, because 15 years ago, if you had come out on your social media channels, like Yumi Steins has said, and said, let's teach children sex acts. I'll give you a quick example. I won't describe. Let's teach children about anal sex, scissoring, transgenderism, how to give blowjobs. This is in the book. These are titles in the book. You would have looked at me like I was crazy, like I was mad. Now these things are being accepted as normal. The problem is we've let the hard left activist types have too much free reign over our society. And this is the issue. People who I guess would be typically centre-right or conservative-leaning, all they want to do is go to work, pay their bills, have a quiet life, raise their kids. They don't have time to be acting like activists out there, changing laws and pushing radical theories on other people. They just want to be left alone. And this is a point I'd like to make. If you're a conservative, if you're sick of things like this and everything else that's going on in our society today, you've got to take an interest in the political process. You have to have your voice heard. You have to say, you know what, I'm not okay with this. I'm not voting for that person or this person. Take an interest in who governs you and push back, because the left-wing nut jobs, they're in there every day. They're fighting for what they believe in, which in this case right here is the sexualization of ever younger and younger children, in my opinion. They're pushing for that. You got to push back as well. Like, luckily, you've got guys like me in there that are fighting every single day for conservative values, of course, but I can't do it alone. I need you to get behind me, get behind the UAP, or get behind another conservative
that you agree with and promote that person and help them fight for your rights and help them fight for your family, literally, in the halls of power.